Hello, Evalena here. Happy to be live with you and to also be available for people to witness later. I'm here to channel the Council of 12 to you, and over the 34 years we've worked together, we've evolved that Babaji, Mahavatar Babaji, is the one that helps draw them through. So in a sense, I'm channeling Babaji, channeling the Council of 12. Which is a rotating group of ascended masters, goddesses, archangels work with us. We work with angels a lot. And it's whomever needs to be here for a particular person or question or group. So there's a lot of beings that come when we do these channelings, and your guides and angels are also invited. So Babaji has asked me to share just a moment about how I prepare to be able to do this, be this vessel for the channeling. Today's a good example. I had a restless night and was challenged in energetically wonderful networking this morning, lots of activity. I came home, I really needed to clear my energy field. So I used my herbal sprays that helped to clear it. I used some tinctures from Stargazer Lee, who does amazing tinctures with star energy in them as well as herbs. Vitamins, had some prebiotics, ate little, drank water, and grounded. So when I ground, I bring my light body into my body, but then I reach up and keep letting my light extend, like they've been showing you if you've watched the other videos. Letting my light extend, and over the years, it's going right into the heart of source. My little self rests in my heart. If my ego seems active, I ask it to sit here and take notes. I'd love to talk about it later, so I can have a spiritual experience. The council says I sit on the council at some very high plane. And so I'm growing and learning from opening into the expansion that we create when we work together, rather than just letting it happen through me. That shared, I imagine there's some learning in there, teaching in there for what's possible for you. So now I'd like to allow Babaji to come through. Let's honor this presence, Babaji and the council, thank you. Let's honor this presence by grounding and centering first. Full breath. Let your consciousness and your breath spiral down your center. Open your grounding, or even better, create new grounding, releasing the old. Fresh new grounding every few days now with this rate of change we're in. Feeling that earth energy, you can call upon that at any point in this channeling. And letting your light spiral down your core, follow it in, sit in your heart. Angels and archangels, please cleanse and clear the energies around everyone involved in this channeling work now and whenever they witness it. We ask that you bring in great light, great love, so that only beings serving love, light, and truth may participate in any way. And we, for each one of us, our own chrysalis of radiant light. If you will, call in your higher self, the radiant heart of your soul, to assist you, receiving all you can and letting go of all that it serves to release. And I welcome the Council of 12. I welcome those beings from the heart of the light only, who are guides or angels for anyone involved in this work. Blessed be. Greetings, dear one. Get used to these vocal cords again. Let's try that again. Greetings, dear one. Dear ones, we are really extraordinarily pleased to work with you today. And Babaji comes with this question. What I want to ask you is, how many of you are there? Of course, there's many answers, and one is all kinds of me, and another is there's only one of me. Because only one of each kind of person was ever created by our creatrix. The same one who makes every snowflake different. So you're meant to be unique with all your foibles and your background and everything you've done that your judging mind might hold against you. It's all part of the plan. So there's only one of you, and there's perfection in the rediscovery of your authentic self. You don't have to go look for it. You just let go of everything else and arrive in your center. There's only one being, so there can only be one of you because there's one being. So that's one answer. What we notice is most of you have grown up through a culture that has many challenges, and often with just a nuclear family, without the support of aunties and uncles and grandparents and godparents and extended family. And so many of you have grown up isolated, or perhaps you grew up with parents who weren't quite adults yet themselves because they needed the support of all those other generations to help them learn how to be parents. And so they didn't have to both work full time. They could be home with children or have someone in the extended circle home with the children. So maybe you're a child of those kinds of parents. And you had to grow up real quick because somebody needed to take care of things, or so it seemed. So you became a little adult before you became a grown adult, and now you're reclaiming your childhood. Those rough passages like that, or with a lot of abuse, the way the psyche protects itself, and it's a protection, it's a good one. The way the psyche protects itself is that it parsons off different parts of itself. It happens in part when something really shocking happens and a part of the personality stays back there in time with. It also happens when there's anger that's not allowed in the family. Either it's a family that's stoic, we don't have emotions except yours, and you could quit, please. Or it might be a family where only the father can be angry or only the mother. So those emotions that are unacceptable, a part of the psyche has to go handle them because you have them. Especially if your parents aren't showing up, anger would be a natural response that has to be secreted away with a little bit of your soul essence. May also be true with fear. May be true that there's a part of you that just trembles in terror at some of the things that are happening and it cannot understand, and there's no one explaining it to the child, which the extended circle of relatives and friends would have done in a village life. But there's no one there to explain it, so a part gets caught in that terror. And sometimes there's just a little soul loss here and a little there, and this trauma and that trauma, and this time of being negated. So if you have parents who don't have their center, they can't help you very much get yours. So this how many of you are there could be answered. Do I count all the little shards? Do I count every little lost piece? Yes. Because they all count. And they're just staying there waiting for you because you, the essence, you're the one that actually left when those things happen, because you're the essence, you're the core, you're the one that knows at some place in your being that you are the one, and there's only one. So that had to be protected. So they rescued you. Now your adult task is to go love each part of you. If you think of it as rescue, you pathologize. We say rescued you because they protected you against all odds. The parts of you that couldn't get out of the body might have been frozen. And that allowed something of your essence to be preserved. And it's precious. This is the aspect of you, this is the core of you that knows when you get out of your conscious mind and you get into your heart, it knows you're the divine child. You are the divine child. And whatever that mother of your body was like, or father of your body, there's the divine mother who will love you and has from the beginning to the end of eternity. And absolutely everything you do, say, everything you be, everything you experience is sacred to her. There's a really interesting phrase in the New Testament of the Christian Bible that says Mary pondered all these things in her heart. So she had just experienced great miracles. And she knew she couldn't figure out what those were, but she pondered these in her heart. So if you will, let your light spiral down your center, follow it in, and give yourself the essence part, the part that had to be protected against all odds. Give yourself permission to take up full residence in your heart. Ah, coming home to myself. Ah, big sigh, let out a sound, relax, let go of everything else. Pick up your shoulders, squeeze, 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 and let them drop. Oh, and shake out. Oh, home. So home is here in my heart. Home is where you can feel your divinity the most. It said the light of your divinity resides in the center of your heart chakra. So let yourself be attracted to that light. Let yourself be drawn to the heart of your heart, inviting it like Evalena did in her preparation, inviting the heart of your heart to be connected to the heart of Source, to the heart of the earth. The heart of your heart connected to the heart of your being, to the heart of the divine, to the heart of the core of the planet. So you get your deep, deep grounding and your connection to the divine. And let yourself listen from this place in your heart, giving yourself permission to come more and more fully home to your heart and the core of your body. So the core of your body runs from the crown chakra through the third, right down the center, in front of the spine, through the third eye chakra, the fifth chakra, the sixth chakra, down to the core to the fifth, to the fourth, to the third. You can do it. Breathe in, letting that light with every breath going deeper. Take up residence in the third. Many of you haven't lived there. Ask your angels and guides to clear your third chakra, your power center. So it's the solar plexus. Asking them to clear everyone else's cords. Use your hands. So if you visualize pulling out anyone who's taken your power or you've given it to. You visualize pulling out the cord, use your hands. The vision and the action tell your subconscious, we're letting this go. We're not going to be corded by others. We get to live in our power chakra. So you just keep clearing it until it feels clear. And then ask your guides or your angels to come clear the back as well. And any other chakras that want to be cleared. So Evalena's, the back of her heart has a few little cords from some people who saw her being honored and were emulating her. So that can happen. They're not all bad. It's just who needs them. So any of your chakras you can do this with. You know, you do the care and keeping of your car with the oil change and taking it in to get it tuned up. This is the care and keeping of the chakras. Oh, what's in there? Okay, I can let that go. Boy, did that person try to psych me out. Ooh, take your energy back. I give your energy back. I take mine back. Archangel Michael, please use your blue flaming sword to clear these cords. Set me free. You have a lot of resources for this. So as you clear your chakras, your home, it allows you to move in. Otherwise, it's a little like the home was a boarding home, which was true for a lot of people who were codependents. Sometimes we say, oh, how many other people do you want in your body? And would you be willing to close down the boarding house and restore it to a private home like it's meant to be? So as you clear other people out, you can let your angels do that. Let their wings brush out your energy field. And then breathe yourself even more in and see if each time you let your light spiral down, there's more room for you. And the more that you fill that core, the more it becomes magnetic and the rest of you get drawn to center. So how many of you are there? Just enough to survive everything you've been through. How many of you do there need to be? Depends. If you really work with these practices or similar ones of arriving in your core, and then you invite your younger selves to coalesce in your core, you can allow them to join you. And at first, they're separate, but closer, and then they're closer. Integration is, there's a whole lot of time preparing, and then at one moment, it's like they dive in your core and you're one. And then they go, ooh, I got a lot of body here. Wow. And I can be in the legs and the head and all of it at once, and ooh, nice. They still may be kids, but they'll start age progressing. And what you'll find is some of those parts that you brought back, those selves, those little ones, they're very young when you first find them and bring them to current time into your center. And with love, with attention, some of them age progress. So some of the little ones become children, and some of the children become teenagers, and some of the teenagers become young adults, and then you become more one, and one day you may be all one again. And then you'll likely ascend. Work done. You see, you come from oneness. There's only one of you. You come from oneness. You encounter whatever your vision quest is, kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You go on your vision quest. You go do your heroine's journey or hero's journey. You encounter all of that. You get shattered into pieces, some of you. Then you discover, well, what's core? What's real enough that I could nurture these parts? Because first you're angry that they're all separate from you, but then you realize, oh, you were protecting me. Huh? Okay, so how do I get the core self? How do I reconstitute myself enough that I can reach out to these parts of me, can be a container for them, be a nurturing presence enough that they want to become part of me again. It's scary, it's wonderful, it's exalting, it's everything. It's the journey. So, how do I do this? Then you find out more of how many of there are you. There's you, the skin encapsulated ego that stops where your skin does. Third dimension, that's it. Then you have all these subtle bodies because there's also you in your etheric body, which is the perfect double, and it's always in perfection. So when you go into your light body, you're operating from that, the perfection of the etheric body. That's part of how Evalena also gets into the state for this work, is she becomes her light body. So now she's in that perfect template and can open to the light. So there's another of yourselves, and then you have your intuitive self that operates out of so the etheric is operating right above the crown, and the intuitive is even more like the astral brain opens to another plane of existence. And then you have yourself on several other planes of existence. The mystery is so multifarious and fascinating. If you're dealing with eternity, why does that which is you ever need to stop? Isn't that an interesting question? If you go far enough and it's nowhere but here, because God is everywhere, but if you allow yourself to ascend up through the vibrations of your being into that oneness with the divine is infinite. So if God is infinite, what if you are infinite? Here you are in your finite self. You're an infinite being that sojourns through the incarnational world. You didn't have to. You're not paying for karma. You're not paying off anything. You chose this particular set of circumstances and people around you, all their foibles and shortcomings and loving ways. You chose that because your soul is studying a particular quality, a particular characteristic of the divine. So if you look at what has occurred for you as your curriculum, all right, so I'm on a course of study, this is school, what happened to me is my curriculum. If I stop taking it personally, maybe I can learn the lessons from it and evolve myself, third dimensional self, to include my fourth dimensional self and my fifth dimensional self. Isn't that fun? So feel that. What's it like to feel your core, your grounding, your connection to the heart of all that is, and the heart of your soul, heart of the universe, heart of your heart? And while in that, expand into your light body, your etheric self. Expand into your fourth dimensional consciousness. The etheric body is like the energetic version, and the fourth dimensional consciousness activates the chakras above your crown. And if you wish, invite your guides and angels, your being, to expand you into fifth dimensional consciousness. And then everything is perfect. Even imperfections are perfect. Even when you goof, it's perfect. It's all just part of the plan. So take a breath. Notice how this feels. Notice if your conscious mind or your ego mind gets busy with maybe you're not doing it right. How do you know if you're doing it right? That's not exactly what they said. And just say, please be still. I don't need to do it right. Even perfections are also perfect. I'm just going to do it. So please sit over there, dear one. You serve me many times right now. Serve me by sit over there, be still, say nothing, and let me have this spiritual experience. So you can say to the ego, take notes. So if it has a job, then it feels important. Take notes. I want to go over them later. Write down your questions. We'll go over them later. That allows you to really be in this experience and experience the glory that is at your center. This radiant heart with a flame of the divine in it. And this core, this Sushumna, they say is the word in Hindu. Buddhist in the English tradition would call it the hollow bamboo. In Tantra, it's thought of as the inner flute, and each chakra is a note on the flute. Healers might call it the column of light, or the column at the center. So just feel, whoa, and that is also me. And I can grow in my capacity to feel it, to live in it, to let it serve me, to operate from it. And then you just say to your guides, your being, whomever you turn to for guidance, guide me in this. Show me the way. Help me evolve in understanding the glory of my spiritual nature and my energetic nature. What a joy to have you listening to us. We have suggested that you post questions in the chat if there's any part of your mind that might think, because we've gotten you totally in your hearts. But if you wish, please feel free to put a question. It'll be given to Evalena. We'll be able to read it and share a response. So notice you may be very deep, and even as we go on with this channeling, your guides may want you to stay right where you are and keep teaching you. You can listen to the recording later if that happens. You have our full permission to drop deep into your experience and let it grow you. That's what these experiences are for. On Evalena Rose, The Alchemy of Love, here on YouTube, Evalena Rose, The Alchemy of Love, there's now 5 or 6 of these Facebook channelings, and there are several other videos as well as on the website. So these are teachings to help you evolve your welcome home. Blessed be. Welcome home. Hello, Evalena, Francesca. I've done so much clearing, yet there seems to be no end in sight. Oh, yes, we hear this. We do. And Evalena's had the same lament more than once. When you are clearing and clearing and clearing, and it seems like it keeps coming back, you go look for where in me or my soul is there permission for this energy to come in. So clearing is a wonderful thing to learn. And what also wants to happen is to learn sovereignty. Sovereignty in your energy field, where you keep a very strong field around you that you reinforce whenever energies come in, and that you dedicate just to you. For those who've had their energetic fields invaded a lot, like Evalena's was, it takes a while to build that strength. It takes a lot for people who are empaths, and if you've had your field invaded a lot, you become an empath in part, or many do, to be able to sense when danger's around and when things might happen, and am I being too cute? Am I being too funny? Am I going to get in trouble again? So you've got your feelers out. So for those of you who learn to do that, it's a learning to keep your energy in your core. That's one of the ways that you keep from getting polluted again, is fill it up with you. If the body's full of you, there's no vacancy. It can't become a boarding house again because you've declared it a private home. So you clear it out, clear all the chakras, then you work with the bubbles around you, bubble of light. You can actually do one for each of the subtle bodies, and then put out a sign that says private home. Maybe put a fence around it. It's a friendly fence, it's got a gate, and you decide who comes in to the yard, and then you choose if they get to come in to your inner bodies. So this kind of work of sovereignty is on a set of videos that we created a couple years ago with Evalena called Living as an Empath. If you messenger or email your email address, we'll send you the link. There's 6 of them, and the third most likely has this meditation of encompassing each of the subtle bodies in light. So it's really developing the practices that would restore your energetic field and the strength of your aura to where it would have been had you always been honored and respected. That's what you're building. It's the equivalent of an energetic field and a body that's always been honored and respected. So you have to ignore reality. Let the past be the past. Do the kind of soul retrievals that bring all of you out of the past, because a lot of where you get things that have to be cleared is part of you still back there, and the memory hasn't been made a memory yet. So you need to get yourself here. We spoke of this soul retrieval last recording and a couple weeks ago. It's also an article on evalenarose.com. It's something we do a lot in Evalena's session, both therapy and her channeling, because getting all your essence pieces out of the past means the traumas are way back there and you're here. And then you're not needing to clear nearly so much. But if you're here, you clear the body, you even get all your energy field clear, and then that part of you back in the past gets triggered. You're going to be flooded again with those emotions of the trauma. That's what you keep clearing. So instead of just clearing, work with sovereignty and soul retrieval of the parts of you that are back in the trauma. Great question. We love questions. Donna Chapman, our friend from Australia, wonderful. I would like to live in a much more uncluttered space, but I have trouble letting things go. I seem to have a sentimental attachment to so many things in my home. How can I find a way through this to live a much simpler life? First of all, love yourself. So you're sentimental because you love a lot, because you care, because you like to hold positive memories. They're really good qualities about you. So you honor the qualities. And then you look around at your stuff, and you look not with, what do I get rid of? You look at what among this best satisfies those qualities of caring and honoring memories and honoring loved ones. And you look for the 10%, maybe 20, probably 10 for you. You look at the 10% that really speaks to your heart and represents those things about you. And you take the rest and you move it out of the space. You haven't made a decision about it. You're just moving it out of the space. So you get to see, and you take a corner of a room and you just do a broader and broader stroke. If you start thinking, what do I do with all the stuff I move out? It's a whole different process. So just put it in a spare bedroom or off to the side. Some of it might even put in a box, but don't try to sort it. What you're looking for is, what does my house and my environment look like and feel like with the 10% I treasure most? You may go, wow, like huge weights drop from your body when you only have that precious 10%. And your mind clears because you don't have to think about the rest. You just have that in your consciousness and in your presence. So be with that for a little while and just see how that feels. You may find, oh, I still want some pictures of so-and-so. Maybe I'll make a little photo thing here. Not many. So of all the pictures I've ever put up over the years, what are the 10% that mean something now? So here's the secret to this. The way to a simpler, easier life is to allow your environment to reflect who you are now. If you had to move, you'd probably sell 2/3 of the stuff or half the stuff. Or you'd put it in boxes that would be in storage for a while. There's so much that gets accumulated, and that's fine. But to the same degree you accumulate, you need to release. And at this point, if you accumulate one thing, you release 10. Because we think you only need, for your joy, about 10% of what is in your eyesight, in your home. The other 90%, you let it sit for a while. Then you come back and you go, is there anything else in here that I really want where I see it out in my home space? And then you start getting some ideas. You know, there's some keepsakes here I really want. So still you're pulling out what you want. If you keep doing that, what you'll be left with is just the debris of a life well lived. And you'll get to a place of, I don't care. I don't think there's anything else I need there. Now, some people who have a hard time throwing things away will get a box, they'll put it in the box, they'll seal it up, they'll put it away somewhere. If you're really courageous, remember, courage comes from le cœur, which is the name of the heart in French. So if you really let the courage of your heart guide you, you allow yourself to put it in goodwill, to take it to recycling, to put it in the dump, to release it and give some stuff away. Give 20% away. Oh, that feels good. There are people who would really benefit from a lot of what you have. If you think about selling it, now you're starting to collect things by their value to other people. It's not part of this process. If you feel, oh, I might sell that one day, put it away. So now you have a home that reflects who you are now, and you get to see yourself reflected all around. You'll start accumulating again, and then you do the process over again. So that's our recommendation. Focus on what's precious. It's a whole different decision-making process, and it tends to work. Bless you. Thank you for getting up at, 2 o'clock to be with us? 2 a.m. Appreciate it. Damaris, how do I best make that connection in real time with my physical daughter in the best way? Should I go to New York City this weekend? Making that connection with your daughter wants to be done heart to heart. You almost want to, here again, we suggest ignore reality. It's one advice we give often. You want to set aside your projections of what she thinks of you, what she's heard from anyone else, how she might see you, and focus on seeing her from your heart. Seeing her as someone whose soul entrusted her to come through your body, to be birthed into your life, to have your influence. Yes, she needed to take a break from it for a while, or her father felt she did, or powers that be, and it seems that she's fine for having had that break. So she comes to you ambivalent. So you want to let go of your ambivalence. What will she do? Will she like me? Will she want me? Be mother. So you come with love in your heart. Whatever she feels is what she feels. So in the mother-daughter relationship, the child gets to be ambivalent or angry or hurt or fearful or whatever. And when that's all met with love, it clears out of the way of the love. And we know this girl loves you. She's ambivalent because she wants you. She doesn't know if you want her. She does, she doesn't. How many of you are there? There's many selves. The part of her that will always know you love her, and the part that doubts, and the part that doesn't want to love you because she might not be able to be with you, and the part that wants to be loyal to her father, wants to be loyal to what she's been told, and the parts of her that doesn't want to believe anybody, and a bunch of other parts. So you get to embody love. Before you go, before you connect anytime, ground, center, the kind of preparation Evalena spoke of, and that this place of opening to the column that connects you to the heart of the divine, the more you open to that, the more you can be mother with this daughter. She doesn't need you to forgive or be forgiven or say this or say that or anything else nearly as much as she needs two things from you. She needs love. She needs unconditional love and acceptance. The second thing she needs is guidance. So you step into that role when she asks something, not to ever make another in her life wrong because you don't want to divide her loyalties in any way, but to share your ideas about things and to guide her. The guidance is as simple as the child draws a tree and you go, that's lovely. See how nicely you got the trunk? And look at the tree. You see how you see the sky through it? Or you see how the sun is shining through it? That'd be fun to put in a picture sometime. So it's not a criticism, it's suggestions for future improvement. That's the difference between guidance and criticism. Child and adolescent may take things as criticism, and you can say, okay, I love to share things with you. Take it or leave it. It's fine with me. So there's no attachment to being received. We feel there's an internal process for you in letting go of attachment. Not attachment to loving this girl. Always love her. Not attachment to serving as mother in her life in whatever way you're allowed. Whatever way works in the situations that she finds herself in. But attachment to her loving you back, or needing you, or responding to you in any particular way. Sit with Divine Mother and ask her to teach you this kind of unconditional love that just is love, that says yes to everything. It says no when you need to guide, but yes to the person. So you separate her behavior from who she is. You love who she is, and you may need to provide some guidance about the behavior or be a no, and that you have the courage to do that as well. To be a big yes and a no when needed. You've got this in you, and you have so many lifetimes where you've been an amazing mother. So you say, okay, soul, I want to access in the memory banks and the experience of my soul's journey through all the lifetimes, the highest and the best of mother, to guide me, direct me, help me know how to mother this child. I want a lot of spiritual support. Thank you very much. So once again, we would say that had you grown up in a kinship group, or had you been living among others, there would have been so much more support for you, for the daughter, for everyone involved. So in a way, you're suffering the results of the isolated family system. And then you get isolated even more through divorce, and then you get isolated from your children. And just know there's a divine plan to bring you back into love with this one. Your connection is ancient. It will grow. It will grow. If you're the gardeness tending the garden of love. Bless you. Should I go to New York City this week? And we never answer should questions. Because should comes from trying to do it right. So we direct you to your own heart. The best way to answer a yes/no question is go into your heart, sit in that sanctuary of your heart, and ask, would going to New York City this weekend be of good service to me? If your heart expands, it's a yes. If you feel a contraction, it's a no. Then you can ask another question. Would it be wise for me to go to New York City this weekend? Expand, contract. You can ask however many questions you want until you're convinced with whatever your heart is telling you. Might be a yes to some questions, a no to others, but you'll start noticing that you're hoping it will be one way or the other, and then you already have your answer. The answer must come from you, dear. We want to teach people how to find their answers, not give them to them. So we have 3 more. We want to be done by 2 if possible. Brad, is lying ever morally justified to protect myself or others around me? Like Harriet Tubman, lying to help slaves escape through the Underground Railroad. There certainly are a lot of lives, and the descendants of those who are here, who are alive, who are vital and free, because Harriet Tubman would lie. Yes, there are times when it's justifiable. It would be wonderful if the world worked together in such a way that you could always tell the truth and be honored and respected. If you're Harriet Tubman, you've grown up in a situation where you know that your truth isn't going to be honored and respected. You can't say, well, I'm helping these people who you thought were slaves find freedom. It would have jeopardized everyone and everything. So, if it feels like there might be a need for that kind of covering up of truth in order to protect yourself and others, you go into a deep soul examination. Is this me doing excuses for not wanting to be true or honest? Or is this real? And you talk to the divine and you ask your ego to go over here and take notes and your conscious mind to be still. You sit in your heart chakra. You expand into the realms where you can feel your guidance and you allow your heart to tell you what's right. Sometimes you speak what's true. Sometimes you need to speak what's right. What supports you, protects others, protects what's best for the highest good. And usually you're around dishonest people when you do that. You're around people that are disrespectful. So if you're lying to hide yourself when working through whatever comes up when you're true, then that's hiding. But if you're lying to protect and it feels spiritually justified, then it's morally acceptable to do. Jules, I am learning how to love myself more than ever before. Congratulations. I'm also learning to not need or desire others' acceptance. Those 2 go together very well. How do I do this with still being open to start dating again? That is the conundrum. You keep coming back to self. You keep coming back to, how do I feel with this person? You don't have to judge them to go, how do I feel? You know, there's a statement in the world of working with codependence. It says, a codependent is the one who loves the one who wants them. So when you're looking for their acceptance, you're looking for who wants you. When you're loving yourself in the dating world, you're looking for who you want. So you're staying in your heart, which is able to stay in curiosity, another word coming out of Lakura. You're able to stay in curiosity rather than when you're watching the other from your mind, looking for acceptance, it's easy to get into judgment. So do they accept me? I don't know if I accept them. Am I meeting what they want? Do they match my pictures? What about their list, my list? Oh my goodness, the list, I don't know. 3 out of 4, is that enough? 7 out of 20, I don't know. It isn't from your mind. You make these decisions. Don't try to know. So when you love yourself, you allow yourself to date from your heart and you watch. You don't give your heart away right away. You look and you watch. How's this feel? Not too safe. How's it feeling now? Well, he just talked about himself for 10 minutes. Well, I'm here. What if I say something? What happens then? Rather than judging, I don't want a man who talks about himself for 10 minutes. He may be nervous. Put yourself in the picture because you love yourself. You put yourself in there. You let yourself assert something of yourself. If you're well received, you notice that in your heart. If you're not well received, you notice that. You're gathering data rather than judging. That allows you to stay in a loving heart. In the end, the heart knows. And at the end, the other person says, would you like to get together again? And you go, let me check in. How's it feel? My heart expand to get together again? Does it contract? Oh, I don't think so. Or, yes, I would. I'd love to explore more of what's possible here. Not committing. The way you love yourself in dating is you get out of the deciding mode. It's so fascinating that in this world, it's like you get one chance, because if you don't decide in the first date and win the second date, or decide to give the second date, you may not see the person again. So everything becomes, is this or isn't this? And instead, just get on a different set of decisions. Would I like to see this person more? And you might even say, is this a potential friend that might grow into more? In other words, do I like him well enough that I might want to spend part of my life with him? But don't decide that part of your life yet. Just decide now and the next week or two. And that lets you stay in self-acceptance. If you do that well, you'll feel good about yourself, and you'll have, the heart will know a lot, and you'll have the data from which the choice is made, rather than making it prematurely. Natalie, wonderful. Why can't I feel energy from other people when they're healing me, and struggle to feel theirs when I'm working with them? I have birthed a golden dragon a few months ago. What does that mean, please? I've purchased a wand which works on a multidimensional level, but I'm scared of using it now in case I use its power and do, what is it? Something with it without realizing. Do harm with it without realizing it. Thank you so much. Feeling someone else's energy, Natalie, means really being in your body and in your heart. As you do the practices from today and arrive more and more in the core of your body, and let your hands be an extension of your heart. So your heart's guiding the energy you're offering. You'll feel it more because you're home to feel it. Often people come out in their hands and they're out here doing it, but they're not really in the body. If you're really in the body, You're centered in your intuitive nature. You have all means of knowing of your psychic abilities. You can use your voice, let it be the voice of the divine. And you're feeling in your heart, you're in an empathic connection with the other. And your power center, your belly, your gut feels what needs to happen. So when you really inhabit the core of your body all the way and clear those chakras, you'll feel the energy. It just needs your presence. You have the capacity. You can also say to your guides, help me feel this more. What they're saying to us is she feels more than she gives herself credit for because it's more subtle than you imagine and it feels pretty quiet, which is it's meant to. So you've birthed a golden dragon a few months ago. Oh, it has many, many meanings. It's a symbol your Kundalini wants to wake up, that you can have access to more of your life force. And as you do that, it's like the dragon would love to breathe its fire right into those chakras that feel less than open so that you have more access to your Kundalini, to your life force that you then can use in healing. And that will help you to feel the energy of others more. You can ask your dragon to clear your energies. We also suggest you look up dragon in the Chinese astrology because this being has come to you as a power ally. Look up dragon in the Chinese astrology and then look it up in the power animals. There's the power animal book of the native traditions. That will allow you to learn more. There's multitudinous meanings of this. Mostly it's come to be your ally. So you're less alone than you were, and the energetics of this dragon, golden dragon, are the energetics of your higher essence self. So it's also helping you to lift you up. Last time we talked about the higher dimensions. It's also there to help you kind of light a fire under you to be able to bounce up in the higher aspects of yourself. Good birthing. Oh, use your wand. Use your wand. Call upon your guidance and say, okay, I ask for the highest, clearest, brightest guides to show me how to use this wand and when to use this wand. If your mind wants to know more, go on Google and go use of power wand or use of whatever kind of wand it is for sacred ritual, and read up on it and practice. Your being knows how to use this wand. You will not do harm with it. It didn't come to you for that. It came to you to do good. So allow it to be your ally. So now you have two allies, the wand and the golden dragon. Blessed be. So we want to close in about 5 minutes. This will be our last question from Kiara. What wisdom can you give me to break through at this time? Take your hands and imagine you see that membrane that's got you encased, and grab hold of it, poke a hole through it. Let Kali help you with her lightning bolt and grab it and pull it open and let yourself out of the cocoon. It's an act of power that wants to happen right now. And the more dramatic you are with it, the better. It's an old cocoon. You don't need it. There's a butterfly in there. You have the capacity to fly high and wide, and you know it. So that's the first part, is the act of power that you break out of it and then go stomp around with, this is my life. I live it from the center. I live it for me. I get to discover how I want to do it, and the universe gets to rearrange itself to finance me in doing my finest work now. It seems like the universe is ready for you to get a little insistent. And inside, you get insistent with yourself to let your visions come through. We think this membrane is part of what hasn't let them come through. So once you've got it broken, give it to Kali Ma and ask Aphrodite or Kuan Yin to wash you through with a crystalline waterfall of sparkling iridescent light. Why don't you all do that? Break the bonds, clear off whatever has held you back, and let Aphrodite wash you through with a crystalline waterfall of sparkling iridescent liquid light. Let it pour through your bodies, let it pour through your energy field, all your subtle bodies. Let it help your subtle bodies as they cleanse, come nestling around you, so you're all nestled like a Russian doll, one inside the other. Put a bubble around the outside, your sovereign energetic field. Ask the angels to bless it and clear it completely, and bless yourself. And that's how you break through. You just do. We love you all immensely. Thank you so much for being a part of this live transmission. And we infuse the recording with the energies that are here at the moment we are offering this. So if you're listening anytime in the future, they're there for you. There are many others on the website and YouTube and Facebook under Evalena Rose, The Alchemy of Love. We bless you, we honor you. There are many of you, and there's only one of you, and you are the precious child of the divine, sovereign in your own right, a gift to all of creation, because there's only one of you, and there's only one. We love you. Thank you, Evalena, for being our clear vessel. Thank you all for being a part of this, for you contribute your own growth to the evolution of the planet and the species every time you take time for spiritual work. We release, bless, and release all the guides and angels who've worked with us, and ask they continue to bless everyone involved. So your own guides and angels, please help you ask them, help my own highest destinies come true with ease, grace, and elegance. May the realms of light bless this earth with so much love and peace that it encompasses all life upon the earth and moves every heart closer to the divine. Blessed be. Thank you all so much. This is my passion. Thank you for the hearts. I love offering this. Thank you, Babaji. I love this today too. If you'd like to work with Babaji, the council, and me, you can either email me or message me or call me. I like to make appointments in person, 707-696-9944. And there we have a chance to take these questions and do a lot of back and forth and tease out your decision-making process. So it's really a deep collaboration with you. I also do therapeutic work. I've offered metatherapy for 40 years, and it keeps evolving, as do I, as do you. So bless you all very much. I'll be in Portland in June, so this is my last Facebook Live, till late summer perhaps. I'll be in Portland the 13th to the 23rd. I'll be offering an introduction to Tantra on the 13th and some private sessions. I'll be at the Oregon Tantra Festival through Tuesday, and then offering private sessions, and on the 22nd, a whole day training in Tantra, erotic communication, the consent culture, boundaries, ways of loving each other, and then a puja that night to celebrate and practice You can do just the puja, just the workshop, or all 3 events. Sign up on lovejourneytantra.com. And my own website is evalenarose.com. Bless you. And bless all the beings in your life. May all beings be happy and may all beings be well. Blessed be.